Soap, give me the file. The file, Soap. The Chris Watts file. On the shelf. Look, it's got a picture of a steaming turd wearing handcuffs on the front of it, okay? Thank you. Hello and welcome back to another Night Owl edition of True Crime what is my name? What is my name? It's True Crime Metrix. Yes. Hello and welcome back to another early bird special Night Owl edition of True Crime Metrix. We don't know if we're having pancakes, an omelette, coffee, or a double vodka bourbon. Yeah, that's a thing. In the South, vodka bourbon, you've never tried one? It exists. Believe me. Go to Kentucky. Ask for one. They'll all know exactly what you're talking about. Anyway, what are we doing tonight, folks? It's been a while, hasn't it? A couple of days. Have we had time off? Have we had R&R? Have we had anything to do but worry and run around stressed? No, it's been a real shitstorm here, folks. I have someone's life in my hands, and it's pretty tough to know what to do about it. Anyway, we're not here for my problems. We're here to cover the Chris Watts confrontation part 2, followed by sentencing hearing, including victim impact statements from Frank Rusek, from Frankie Rusek Jr., from damn it, what's her name? What's the mother's name, Soap? The mother of Shanann. Sandy Rusek. That's it. No disrespect, just a full head at the moment, guys. Sandy Rusek. And who else have we got? Yes, victim impact from Ronnie Watts and Cindy Watts. Little bit brutal to listen to, all of them for different reasons. And we're also going to hear from Attorney Rourke, District Attorney Rourke, who's going to give us a very succinct, clear rundown of the Watts situation. What kind of a situation is that? The kind of situation that no one should ever be in. What the hell, Chris? What did you do, Chris? Hello, Leah. Rocking the nation tonight, all the way from British Columbia. Are they Colombian? Are they British? Who knows? Anyway, let's get to it. Folks. How do we do this? It's been so long, we've forgotten where the buttons are. We need to present, share screen, browse, and here we go. That's okay, Leah. We could do with a little help, actually. Believe me. I almost want to ask the advice of the public, but there's only 2 people in the stream, and it's a little personal. I don't know if this channel should really be for that. Anyway, what are we here to do? We're here to cover the Chris Watts thing, so let's do that.
Was your wife wearing any shorts or pants or anything just under? Okay. Do you remember what they look like? Blue. Okay. Okay. And the girls, do you remember what their pajamas were? They're both.
Write your name on the bottom. So I know that we didn't make those marks. I'm just going to write the date on it, okay? 8/15/18 at 5:56.
So just to give a little recap, guys, Chris Watts has confessed. So he's not leaving that room as a free man. We know that. But he's taken the opportunity to go for the agreeing to Tammy's alternate question or alternative question. Which one is it? I think they both work. Yeah, which was Shanann did something to the girls and Chris went into a rage, just like Lacasse. Him and Lacasse, they're just foaming at the mouth, rage. He had to do something, so he killed her in a rage. But it was basically her fault because she hurt the girls. Yeah, right, Chris. Like Shanann's gonna hear that you've been doinking the geologist from your oil company and run in there and kill her daughters. Okay. Yeah, good one, Chris.
Was your wife wearing any shorts or pants or anything just under her? Okay. Do you remember what they look like? Blue. Okay.
Never end, do they? We've got a problem with the stream. Let's see if that works now.
Celeste, I think was that pink one with the like curves on it. I think those was in the corner, I believe, on it or something. Okay. So it sounds like, I mean, it feels now, you know, is there anything? About how to get them? Yeah. It's just to the top and unscrew something and then lower something down to get them. They're like, it's just a hatch on the top and they're like 20-foot tanks. How far down are they? Wherever the food level was in the tank, I'm not sure. Okay. What was it when you were there? I don't know. I didn't. Okay. I wasn't looking into that. Okay. All right.
So Chris is now describing where the bodies are exactly, right? And if you remember, he put his two girls in these giant tanks of crude oil, taller than a house they were, I think, or about the same height as a house. Pretty tall, right? And the detective, the investigator, the agent is asking him, how far down are they, Chris? And he's like, I don't know, wherever the oil was up to. I mean, I don't even think I could say the words.
You may go out there or no? I don't think so. Would you prefer not to? I didn't know if you needed help going, getting there. Yeah, I don't know. I think once we got that picture, because we didn't really know how much about the location that the other police officers knew. But it sounds like they knew somehow, right? And right how to get to 319. So, and I think that's how they got that picture. Does your nanny cam? Do you have nanny cam, right? It's a monitor. A monitor. Is it a video one? It's like it cycles back and forth between what? LNC2 run. Oh, okay. Okay. Is there any chance it records? No. Okay. I'm just wondering, what do you think? What do you think ultimately made Shanann snap? Just knowing that the affair, and she knew. She just needed me to admit it, and I wouldn't admit it. Yeah. And then we were just getting into, you know, what Chris thinks about why she snapped.
Mm-hmm.
He's just saying distressed from knowing about the other girl.
knowing that she didn't really know, right? I
In
mean,
her heart, she knew. She just wanted me to admit it.
Can we talk about a couple tough things? I think we need to get it out of the way and just really get it out, just to make sure you have every chance to explain exactly what happened and we have every chance to ask questions. So the conversation happened. You go downstairs. She's still upstairs. And then you see what?
I hear just commotion upstairs, just like, like little noises like that.
Okay, sure. Maybe you walk around.
Maybe one of the kids is getting up, or
Yeah.
if the man got up or something.
Okay.
These guys, the investigators, they are so highly trained. I mean, these two in particularly, they're so highly trained to recognize the cues of when someone is recounting an event that didn't happen, right? Especially one so major as your pregnant wife murdering your small children. Might stick in your brain a bit, you think. But anyway, they could be asking you a basic question. They could be asking you a question like, so when you put on your boxer shorts this morning, was there any chance that you put them on the wrong way and ended up with the fly on your ass? So when you went to the sock drawer, is there a chance that you grabbed 2 odd socks this morning, Chris? They could be asking you a question about marmalade, and they'd still know what to look for. Anyway, Chris is now desperately, he hasn't even thought this far ahead, bless him. He doesn't even think, he just thinks he can go, yeah, I did it because Shanann is evil and I had to kill Shanann, but it was only because I was in a rage, so I should only get manslaughter. I want to be out in 6 years. Can we make it so that I'm out in 6 years, and then I can marry Nicole, and we can have a bachelor pad where all the furniture is made from old car parts, and we don't have any purple curtains.
Of it. Continue just packing everything up and ready to go. So I can go back up and just talk to her again, maybe real fast. And go into that room, her master bedroom. She wasn't in there.
Okay, you went there first?
Yeah.
And why?
I'd love it if when Chris says, yeah, I went into the master bedroom, and the detective is like, so is that the one with purple curtains? And Chris just exploded and said, every room has purple curtains.
Why did you go up again?
Just to go up and talk to her again.
Okay. So it's not as though that noise made you run up, you just stopped?
No, I didn't
Okay.
read anything in register with me for that.
This stupid detective, he doesn't realize. Chris is like, listen, buddy, I just want a coffee table that has that is a piece of glass on top of a V8 engine. And I want all my lamps to be made from the tail lights of 57 Chevys. Okay? I want a calendar with trucks on it on the fridge. No purple curtains.
Looked in the monitor and it was on Bella.
And where is the monitor? Where's the screen that you look at? Is it up or downstairs?
It's upstairs.
Okay, so you go upstairs, look at the monitor.
Everything's right beside the bed.
Oh, your master bed. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
beside the bed.
So she's not in her bed.
It's still right there.
Okay.
If you want to look at it. And it was on Bella.
You know the sheets that he threw away, and he left part of it in the desert, next to the grave, next to the shallow grave. Bad move. And then the other half of the bedding he put in the trash. I would have just loved it if they'd have been purple. I know that they weren't, but I've just got this thing at the moment where it was the purple furniture that drove him to this. All he wanted was, like, a table lamp made from the rear view mirror of a 1960 Cadillac Eldorado.
Her covers were pulled back. She was just sprawled out laying there. And then it cycled over. So like a 3, 4, 5 second like interval between when it cycles from room to room. And it cycled over to Susie's room. And that's when I saw her on top of her. That's when I ran in.
Okay. So can we talk about, again, it's very, very hard to talk about, but it's good to make sure that we understand. We don't want anything to be incorrect or inaccurate or anything like that. Was your wife on top of Cece? What did that look like? I mean, was she straddling her? Okay. And where were they?
In the bed.
On the bed. And so your wife was on top. Was she?
That's when I was walking out from the back.
Okay. And she saw from the back?
Yeah.
Okay. But she was doing this.
It looked like this.
Yeah. Okay. And then,
To the side.
oh, she was laying on her side. Okay.
And that's when I pulled her off.
Okay.
She was limp and she was blue.
Okay.
There was no movement at all.
Oh, she was limp and blue? Or limping
Limp
and blue?
and
Limp.
blue, guys. Now, how about that 6 years? Remember, it was only manslaughter because I flew into a blind rage, after I told my pregnant wife that I'd been doinking the geologist at my oil company, and she freaked out and killed the kids to punish me. So I had to take care of business, purple business.
And
Limp and blue. Okay.
So
Like
not
her father.
murder, only manslaughter because of the rage, 6 years. Now I get out, marry Nicole, bachelor pad, all the furniture made of old car parts.
it was like,
Right.
you pick an arm up and it
Sure.
just falls.
Okay. And then what happened?
I looked at her and I just got on top of her and
You got on top of Shanann?
did the same thing.
Okay. Did you have to knock her down?
No.
She was already on the ground?
I just pulled her off on the bed. And,
Oh, kind of one movement? Yeah. Okay. So it's not as though you
and I didn't
pulled her off?
No, like I pulled her down. I said that I didn't know. I lost it.
Sure.
So
Okay.
Shanann was
Yeah, he
in the-
lost it, guys. Now, manslaughter, 6 years. I thought you guys might enjoy seeing this. So, in branding, we've got the different brands and the colors and the feelings that they convey. So, fast food sugar companies like Red, right? McDonald's, Coca-Cola. Well, there's millions of brands, but what's purple? Deep, creativity, unconventional, original, stimulation, individual, wealth, modesty, compassion, distinguished, respectable, fantasy. Actually, I've heard it said that it also conveys royalty, because back in the day, I know you guys don't have kings and queens over in that strange place we call America, but back in the day, the king would wear purple because it was an extravagant color, because it wasn't made from, like, to make the pigment of purple you have to really fuck around with nature, to, I don't know, make the dye or something. Like blue's really easy, green's really easy, but to make purple, it's tough. Can't find a lot of stuff in nature that's purple that can make dye. So it was special. That's why the king wore purple. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And it's real, Orange, warmth. Blue, spirit. Yeah. Anyway, back to the news. Back to the blue news. How do we do back to the news?
On the bed.
On the bed.
Yeah, like when she was on top of the seats, I saw what was happening. I pulled her, went down. I was
How
on the
big
bed.
was the bed? What kind of, I tried to get it full, clean, you know?
I think it's probably a queen of some sort, some kind of a picture that's more, I think.
So where was the left in the
She was all the way up to the top.
To the top?
And I went in and pulled Shannon down, it was across waist.
Like,
So she
Man, you really don't have to be a trained behavior science FBI investigator, profiler to know that this guy is making it up on the fly. The bedrooms, and they were blue, not moving and not breathing. I checked for heartbeat. There wasn't one. So, I didn't call an ambulance.
That's what was.
That's so ridiculous, man. I mean, can you imagine that? Like you run in and your 3 and 4-year-old daughter are unresponsive. Bearing in mind that supposedly Chris has gone in and pulled Shanann off one of the girls and had been speaking to her minutes before, right? So it wasn't like they'd been there for a day, dead. I mean, even then, but like it's just happened, and he's saying that they were unresponsive, blue. A, that wouldn't happen that quick, I don't think, would it? And B, you'd obviously call an ambulance if you had any interest in your daughter's lives. The way he tells it, he didn't even try to resuscitate them himself. It's just like, oh, look, blue, not moving. Well, I guess that's done. So what's for dinner? What shall I get Nicole for her birthday? Maybe a trip to the dunes and car museum.
Okay. Key room.
Mm-hmm.
So then, is this picture as you're standing in the doorway to go in? Is that work? Okay. And then, so were they closer to this side or this side?
She usually sits in the middle.
Okay. And so your wife was right on top of her, you could just see that. And then did you pull her this way or that way, or?
So that's where her head was, on this side.
Right over here?
Yeah.
On the left as you're looking at it? Okay. Did she put up a fight?
I lost it so much that it didn't feel like she did.
Okay. You're a pretty strong dude. Was she yelling? Was she screaming? Was she talking? Was she scratching?
Yeah, pretty strong dude, guys. Yeah, pretty strong dude. You know where else there's some strong dudes, Chris? Yeah. In that big building. In that big building where you're going to be spending all your days now. All of them, Chris. All of them. Same place. Yeah, not the view. The view is not great. It's not the main point that they talk about, Chris. Yeah. No days at the track. Sorry, don't have that there. No, just a load of strong dudes, Chris, who are going to be extra kind to you.
You knew nothing.
I didn't feel, I just felt such anger that nothing, I didn't feel anything.
Okay. All right.
Like if she did, nothing's on me.
Was it quick? Was it slow? Was it?
I was so numb, it felt like it was over.
Fast? Over fast? Okay.
Felt like
Is it possible her neck's broken?
no. So,
Okay.
I've never broken a bone, so I don't know.
Okay. All right. Was it a choke like this, or was it like a headlock?
Choke.
Okay.
Can you put your hands out like you had your hands?
Like that.
Like that?
Right.
And your wife, you saw her with one hand or two hands?
I just kind of from the back, I couldn't really like tell. I don't know, she was on top of her. And the monitor's not like color, it's black and white. Well, at
Yeah.
nighttime, it's black and white.
Okay.
When it's dark.
So because you went up the stairs, right, to talk to
Mm-hmm.
Shanann again? And then, did you think it was weird that she's not in the room where you left her?
Mm-hmm. So I walked in and looked around, saw the monitor, and I saw Bella. And then switched over to CC pretty fast, and that's when I saw that. And
Did you have any inkling that between the time that you finished the talk and the time that you found Shanann choking Cece, you had no inkling she was going to do it?
we both of those kids more than we know.
Okay.
And people in my family have always said she's unstable. My friends have said she's unstable, but I never would have thought in years.
Who says she's unstable?
Mm-hmm. My family, my friend Mark, people that have seen her around me. I don't want a bad picture of her.
Well, it doesn't look good, I'm not gonna lie. It looks actually pretty bad.
Yeah, no, don't get him wrong, guys. He doesn't want to paint a bad picture of Shanann. No. What are you talking about? He's just throwing her under the bus. So he doesn't look bad, okay? He's just painting some devil horns on her head and a big evil Jack Nicholson Joker smile. He doesn't want to make her look bad. Just a mother killing her two innocent children. Because she found out that her husband was doinking the geologist at his oil company and taking her to the sand dunes.
And
Is it possible that when we get these girls, Bella, Cece, and Shanann, is it possible when we get them that we're going to see anything other than the cause of death being her hands? Okay. And what I mean by that, and I should be very clear, is that it's some of it's hard to believe that your wife did it, right? You can imagine that. Okay. So is it possible that maybe she did one, and then you got Shanann, so you did to Shanann what she did to one of your daughters, and then you had to just do it to the other one? So maybe. Okay. So is that's not what happened?
No.
Okay. Is it possible that, is there any other way where we might see your hands on the girl's neck?
No.
Okay. And you know what I mean? Because when we find their little bodies, we're going to see the diameter of someone's hand and someone's fingers, right? So is it at all possible we're going to see yours?
No.
Okay. All right. And I know it's hard, and I know you're probably getting angry at my question, but we have to ask. Okay.
what do you think of that, Chris?
Let my family down. Let my dad down, let my mom, sister, nephew, nieces, friends, co-workers. Everybody.
Can I ask you another tough question? And just get it all on the table. When you see Shanann choking, strangling Celeste, and you get her off of Celeste, do you think about calling an ambulance? How come?
I see you lying there blue and limp.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen something like that in my life. I mean, she just lay over, nothing was moving at all, no gas, no breath. So
So,
it's totally just blew.
so Chris, you're doing this job for a long
I
time.
know.
I know a lot about psychology. And as far as like what people are thinking is sad and that their kids are this, like they're journaling and we can do. The parents are like, why are you not doing something? What are you talking about? So that's what we're used to. So that's why I want you to explain to me like what was going on in your head and
The rage that I felt for what she did, it just took over.
but you see that
I
kind of was
understand.
crazy.
I see where you're coming from.
Most parents would still try and
I
call.
see where
Yeah. Do you see where she's coming from, Chris? Do you see how what you're saying looks like a load of shit, Chris? Do you see that we don't believe you, Chris? Is that what you see, is it, Chris?
you're coming from.
I would hate for Shanann to get a bad rap if she didn't have anything to do with it. You know, it's not fair.
I know.
It's not fair. Like enough bad stuff has happened.
I know.
Like we need to stop the bad stuff from happening. So, do you want to tell us the truth?
That is true.
So I will make sure. So you're good with the public knowing that Shanann killed her daughters?
I did not hurt these girls.
Are you okay with the public knowing that Shanann?
Yes, because I did not hurt these girls.
Chris, I'm not sure I believe you.
I don't think you meant to.
I
I don't think you meant to.
didn't hurt them.
You didn't save them either. You know?
I know that. I know that.
So that doesn't make sense either.
None of this makes sense. Nothing like why she would be there. Any of this makes sense.
Are you sure Shanann didn't catch you in Celeste?
No, my God, no.
Chris, you can imagine that we're pretty cynical in our jobs, right? And tonight we've had to talk a lot about a lot of things. And don't get mad, but what it looks like is that you found a new life, and the only way to get that new life was to get rid of the old life. And I think that you killed these girls before their mom came home, and then killed Shanann. And that's what we're kind of left, that's what we have to believe, because it just doesn't make sense. I mean, to her point, if I walked in and my kid was decapitated, I'd call an ambulance,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Knowing there's no hope.
it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't add up. So either you're this monster who says, I just want this young, hot girlfriend, so I'm going to kill everyone and hope it works out, or something. So I think we're very, very close to the truth, but not quite there yet. So if you're not that monster,
I'm not a monster. I didn't kill my babies.
okay. So tell us what actually happened.
I told you what happened.
I know, but you know, we're getting later into the day. We've done this a few times, and we talk. Then we show you a little bit of what we're working with, some evidence and facts that we know, and then we kind of get our way to the truth. So, okay.
Everything I've told you. Truth.
So what's going to happen when their cause of death comes back to you?
Yeah, everything I've told you is the truth, detective. So, 6 years? Manslaughter? Can we do it? Yeah, I'll take a plea. It was her. Now, about that bachelor pad. I want to make absolutely certain that there are no purple curtains. I want a calendar with trucks on the fridge at all times. And I want all the furniture to be made of old car parts, please. Coffee table with a V8 engine under it. Okay? So everyone will know I'm a car guy. Gearhead Chris.
The girl's not going to.
Okay. You sure?
I'm 100% positive it's not going to come back to me.
Who's it going to come back to?
Jeanette was on top of Cece.
Okay. What do you want me to say? I just want the truth.
That's it, the truth.
And what about Bella?
Bella was laid out.
I mean, why the hell is he still talking? The only possible reason to talk to police, which is usually not the best idea, is if you think you can talk your way out of it, right? He's confessed to killing his wife. He's not leaving. If you know, he's leaving and he's going to county before his arraignment and then trial. How does he not know that? You're not going to have bond, buddy. Okay? They're holding your ass. So why are you still talking? Unbelievable. And when they say, is there any way that it could come back to you? I've told you the truth. And when I whisper, I sound extra convincing.
Sprawl on her bed.
Okay.
Hey, thanks, Kurt, for the super sticker. Great way to support the channel. And my general mood. Man, it's been a tough couple of days. Days off? No, man. No, man. It's been really tough. Really tough. And I still am without a conclusion. As of yet. Pretty scary times. But we're moving on. We're moving right on. And thank you, Kurt, for the support. If anyone else would like to support the channel, guys, there's links in the description to buymeacoffee.com where you can buy us a coffee.com. And there's also super sticker, super chat, super thanks, super like, super share, super subscribe, super breakfast, super lunch, super dinner, super Oreo cookie, super chocolate banana milkshake.
And I saw Jeanette on top of Cece Scar ran in there.
And what happens when a coroner looks and says, sees your fingerprints on her neck?
It's not going to be my fingerprints.
Okay. What is it going to be?
It's going to be.
Yeah, he smothered them, guys. He smothered them, Super pizza, super sushi.
Jeanette.
For sure. Well, we don't know about Bella, right? We don't know about Bella.
Bella, it's just, I didn't see Jeanette on top of her.
Okay.
That's the commotion I heard upstairs. Yeah, I'm assuming.
Okay. Why take their bodies out of the house and bury them?
I was scared. I didn't know what else to do.
Okay.
Nothing was gonna, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know what to do.
Scared of what?
Scared of what everything was gonna look like. My two babies were gone,
Mm-hmm.
and I just did that to my wife. And I was the only one left in the house. What do you expect is gonna happen?
Yeah. It did look bad.
Yeah, I thought it might look like it was me that did everything. Well, here we are, Chris. And that is what it looks like, Chris. So, even though you unceremoniously took your pregnant wife with your unborn son that had already been named Nico out to a shallow grave in the Colorado desert in a field where big muscle men take a dump in the sunflower fields meters away from your wife's corpse. Yeah. And the baby girls, well, they'll just about fit through that little porthole hatch. You know, Bella might need to be stuffed in there. Like, what do you stuff? Like stuffing a, you know, like someone who is trying to prove to the airport worker that their carry-on luggage is small enough to go on board, trying to stuff it in that little metal box that they have to test the size, going, look, it fits, and then you can't get it out. That's what he did to Bella to get her in the tank. You know what I'm saying? Those little, when you're checking in and they say, I'm sorry, sir, that looks a little big to go in the overhead cabin. And there's that little metal thing that you test if your bag is the right size. He's stuffing it in there like that with the same agitation that you have, that everybody has in the airport when you're dealing with any kind of rule in the airport. Isn't that the weird thing about our species? No matter your race, religion, background, culture, everybody on planet Earth is annoyed by any rule that will be had in an airport in the same way, in the same exact way.
Right. Yeah, look, I mean, this was a nightmare.
Yeah. Okay.
Apart from George of the Jungle, right? He had a great time in the airport, but it was all brand new to him.
Just think as many problems as you've had with Shanann, at the end of the day, she seemed like she was a pretty good mom, right?
I was a pretty good dad as well. You never really know a person until you don't know a person.
Yeah, I was a pretty good dad as well. Emphasis on was.
I just would hate for
Imagine sitting there with two other human beings. Never mind if they're FBI detectives and their job is to arrest you and take you off to the concrete box where you live forever. Never mind any human beings. You know, and just saying this stuff that he's saying. What a trip.
someone who can't defend themselves, like Shanann and Bella and Celeste. Like, I mean, if you're not.
Imagine if the papers, like, if somehow he got this story to fly a little and the papers started printing, like going through all the pictures of Shanann looking for that one that was like, oh my God, she's deranged. And the headline's like, killer mom gets what she deserved, or something, you know, and they all painted her like that. That'd be rough for the family, right?
Being truthful about who took their lives, like that's on them too.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to do that to them.
I'm not doing that to them.
I'm just saying, I mean.
No, I'm not doing that to them.
Yeah. Start saying things twice, Chris. That might help.
I do think you were a good dad. I think Shanann was a good mom. I think you guys were doing everything you could possibly do for those girls. I mean, look at them.
Why didn't you put Shannon on the tanks?
I didn't know what else to do.
How far down is she?
I don't know, like 2 feet maybe.
How long did it take you to dig that?
No.
Give me an idea.
20, 30 minutes.
Does anyone ever like go up this ladder and like look in tanks?
Mhm.
So how are you gonna avoid that? Or is it you that does that?
Anybody that goes to the location.
How often is that done that those tanks are checked?
Depends if they're making enough oil or whatnot. I mean, once a week, maybe.
So do you want someone to find them?
I didn't know what else to do either. That was the location I was going out to that morning.
Anyway,
And I didn't know what else to do.
so you weren't thinking that far ahead?
No.
Okay.
Yesterday when you were talking, and again, this is before we kind of got to this moment today, you mentioned that.
Hey, thanks so much, Leah, for supporting the channel with your fancy pants Canadian dollars. That's so much appreciated, and we thank you.
We were talking, you said, I don't know where they are, I don't know where they are, and then you said something along the lines of, whatever happened to them, this act of pure evil. What did that mean?
It's just the evil that I saw when I walked behind Shanann and she was on top of CC. And then I felt evil before I did to Shanann.
Okay. So, one other thing that doesn't make sense to me is, well, I don't know. Can you walk me through again? When you walked in, what did she look like? What did Shanann look like? All you saw was her back. Was it the same shirt that you buried her in? Same underwear? And then was she wearing pajamas?
Shanann?
Yeah.
No, that's what she sleeps in.
Oh, she sleeps in her underwear. Okay, and no pajamas, no shorts, nothing like that. So then, when you grab her, just as is, that's how she gets to the truck, that's how she gets to the site. Okay.
So did Shanann ever go to bed?
Like when I put her back in the bed.
No, like when she got home. Did any of that happen where she was like, she got into bed and then you woke her up at 4? Like, is all of that true? Because it looks like there's some purchase of some hair care products at like 2:30 in the morning. Do you know about that?
Hair care products.
No. You said you don't really use the credit card, so the probably.
My credit card, no.
Would you have bought hair care products at 2:30 in the morning that morning?
No.
Did she get mad at you because there's no money when she woke up? Like, was that part of the?
This is the first I've heard of that.
Okay.
As far as hair care products and the car agreement,
And I'm not lying about that, just that's what I'm asking. That is something that came up.
Is there any reason she would have a black eye, Shanann?
No.
Not from a slap or a punch or nothing like that?
Never
Okay.
punched her, slapped her.
Is there any reason she would have a stab mark on her body?
No.
He was a little offended there, wasn't he? Like, no, you crazy? Hit my wife? Chris, do you have any idea what's going on? This is an interrogation room. You're going down for 3 murders, buddy. And one, what is it? How is it classified? Unlawful termination of a pregnancy, I think, is the charge in Colorado. But you can just call it 4 murders if you want. No need to be fancy here.
And no other reason for death. Coroner's not going to find rat poison in her stomach. The only way that she died, she was living, breathing, and wasn't living, breathing after your hands on her neck. Okay.
What were you talking to Nikki about before your wife got home?
Before she got home,
You talked for like several hours.
Several hours, guys. Night of the murder. Shanann's away on a business trip, Arizona. He's had a babysitter around while he takes his missus out, his mistress out. And then he gets back. He's waiting for Shanann to come home. Is he prepping her favorite meal? Has he got something nice for her to enjoy? Okay, I know she got back pretty late, but no, he's put the kids to bed and chats to Nicole for several hours.
God damn, we talk a lot. Conversations, random conversations. We talk a lot.
Does Nikki know about any of this? Seriously.
Well, she doesn't know, like, I mean, she knows, like, from the news and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? You can share with her anything? Does she know your wife was pregnant?
She does now. And I told her that.
She didn't know at the time? How come you didn't tell her?
So I was scared too. Felt like, you know, like she wouldn't even like gone on a date with me if she knew that. So it was,
Did she know you were married?
What did he just say?
Okay.
like she wouldn't even like gone on a date with me if she knew that. So it was,
She wouldn't have even gone on a date with me. So, man, you can't stop a pregnancy. I mean, I guess you can, but it doesn't wait for people, is my point. You know, you could abort it, but it's not something that you can put on ice, really. And 9 months goes by quickly. We're already in July, folks, almost. Speaking of which, maybe it's time for everybody to make sure they've clicked that subscribe button. What are we saying, guys? Getting pretty close to our 1,000 subscriber landmine.
Did she know you were married with kids?
yes.
Okay. But just not pregnant?
Yes. I told her that, you know, like we had actively tried before we met.
Oh, try to get pregnant. Okay.
So she knew that.
You can imagine that when we go talk to people going forward, everyone's going to try to distance themselves from any of this.
Yes.
And so what's going to happen when Nikki says, no, it was our plan to kill everyone and run off together?
She's not gonna say that.
Okay.
We're gonna talk to her.
Absolutely.
We have to.
You're going to talk to her? You're going to talk to the really significant person in this triple homicide? No, don't. He doesn't want to get her involved, cops. Come on. She's a wonderful person. She's been through a lot. And Chris is, you know, he puts women first. Always. Valiant Chris. That's what they call him. That's what they call him in the prison yard now. They say, hey, Valiant Chris.
So can we get ahead of that for you? Can we get all of that out right now? I mean, so are you sure she's not gonna say, oh, I kind of knew he was gonna kill him?
No,
She's not gonna say that?
no.
Okay. And she's not gonna say, boy, we were making plans about buying a house or an apartment. She gonna say that?
No, like,
She's like,
like, once I have my own place, like, we could,
Yeah, cop. The only plans they made were to spot each other on MyFitnessPal or whatever it's called. What is it called? MyFitnessPal, the app where you scan everything you buy, the barcode, and it tells you, yes, this packet of boneless, skinless chicken breast has 42 calories per ounce, and this packet of cucumber slices with a low-fat, no-salt dressing is exactly 106 polymicro nutrients. I can't think in these terms, guys. Give me a break.
like, hang out more.
okay. So after the separation, after that dust settled, then you have availability to go scenic, and you guys had talks like that?
Yeah, he wanted a bachelor pad, guys, in Brighton. No purple furniture and all of the stuff made out of old car parts. A desk lamp made from the fender of a 1961 Buick Skylark.
Yeah, I mean, like, she generally liked me.
Okay.
Please don't put her name out there in the news, though. She's been doing nothing really, so.
Stuff like that, we never try to put out.
But I just know, like, the press, if they got a commitment affair, they would drag her through the mud. I don't want that.
We're certainly not gonna try to make that happen.
It's vulnerable on any of this.
I know there's press finds ways. That's everything.
So what do you think about everything now? Do you feel sorry for what you did?
Of course, I wouldn't have lost control and got top of Shannon and did that. And then did that.
What, took him out to the well site?
Yes.
I'm amazed he's still talking. Why is he still talking? What does he think he's going to achieve? Let's think about that for a second, guys. He's going with this, he's only agreeing to this narrative of the alternate question. You know, Shanann lost it when I told her I was doinking the geologist from my oil company. And she killed the girls. I saw her killing the girls on the baby monitor, ran in, pulled her off Celeste, saw Bella was all blue and not moving and stiff, and decided in that moment, even though this had just happened, that they were beyond resuscitation. With all of my medical knowledge and background, I knew that blue meant dead. So, so I had to murder my wife. And, you know, I guess he's talking because he wants to make sure that that's the narrative that he's charged with, so that he can make sure that he's only dealt with temporary insanity, manslaughter, what do you call it? What's the opposite of aggravating circumstances? Mitigation. Is it mitigating circumstances? Yeah, so that he can get a lesser charge, only serve 6 years, get out on parole, in 4.5, and buy that house in Brighton with Nicole and start building all their furniture from old car parts. Yes, the man wants a bookshelf made from old license plates, one from every state, from Empire to Golden.
So after we look at their bodies, we're gonna have a lot more questions. Things are gonna be different then, but if you're willing, we'd love to talk to you then too. You did really good today, Chris. Really good. I think you had about 24 hours of just a hellish nightmare thrust upon you, and you certainly did what you did, but I think you took a lot of steps to make it better today.
Sorry I left you last night, and sorry that I did good. Not okay.
I thought you were here for a reason.
Well, there's a reason why that I came in, because there's a reason why I didn't come in with a lawyer either. So it's like, it's gonna happen. So
I appreciate that.
Man, Chris would be so easy to con. Yeah, Chris, listen, Chris. You're not hearing me, Chris. It's 12 easy payments. Okay? Real easy monthly payments. Doesn't that sound affordable, Chris? Man, you could write your own number in this guy's checkbook. But yeah, no, he's looking at Graham Coder thinking, yeah, man to man. Yeah, integrity. Yeah, he's got my number. He can see that I came in here to do right by my family, do right to the public, and do right to the justice system, because he knows I'm a good man. Yes, I murdered my wife, but that was in a temporary insanity rage because of what she did to those girls. That wife killed those girls. And Chris had to put it right. And the only reason he hid the girls in the oil tanks is so that the public wouldn't blame Shana.
Eventually they were gonna find them out there. So, it was kind of
Yes, Leah here has told them where the girls are already. Drawn them a little picture.
inevitable. And then you would just been sitting at home waiting for that moment to happen. And then what? Then what does it look like?
it looks. Probably just,
So there's many people that say that you're an amazing guy and you would never do anything bad and has never lost your temper, and all those people that say that about you, there's just as many that would say that about Shanann.
Yeah.
So we're gonna struggle with that for a while. I'm struggling with it right now, I'll be honest.
I know you are.
I'm a mom.
Anybody would.
Yeah, Ryan B. You know the score. Graham Coder's just got this way of talking I find delightful. I want to start using it in my daily life. I'm in the hardware store, and I'm being served by someone with a name tag, Nick, and I'm purchasing a hammer, and he says that'll be $12.95. And I say, Nick is a good man. $12.95, yes it will. Because to your core, you work in a hardware store. I am seriously going to try that and see what people do. Nick is a good man.
How do we prove best that she landed it?
Examine the body, I guess. That's the only thing.
We're gonna see her hand marks.
The hand marks are not there.
But there are gonna be hand marks, like they weren't smothered, you think?
I don't, shouldn't have been smothered, no. And Bella, I don't know, but she was on top of her, and her head was to the side.
And there was no pillow on top of her.
I didn't see a camera on. Didn't see one on top of her. No.
Why were there sheets in the trash?
Yeah, Bob from accounting is saying, is this the same day? Or does she wear that sweater a lot? No, it is the same day, Bob. One long day. For all you Aussies out there, get your cold chisel. One long day. Yeah, he's been in there. He got in at 11 o'clock. And it's now, what is it, 6:30? 6:35? That is 7.5 hours, man. He's been sat there doing this.
In the kitchen.
Because those are the same ones out there. I didn't know what else to do. I knew eventually this was going to find Jeanette. I mean, because.
So is she still wrapped in the sheet in down in here?
It was just like.
Yeah, right. Right, Rabbit. Rabbit says, I might want to try that at a hardware store far from home. Yeah. I'll be in the hardware store far from home saying, you know, when we find the claw hammer, what are the chances we'll see Shanann's fingerprints? You're a truth teller. Aisle 5, you're a truth teller. Where are the toilet plungers?
No, it's beside, or maybe the wind took it.
So it's right here now. It was just next to the side. Like you didn't even try and hide that?
I was so scared, I didn't know what to do.
Did someone come up on you or something?
No, I mean,
Were you afraid they were gonna start showing up?
I knew they were on their way out there, but I mean, it's just a long way out there.
So I know, and before I forget, I know that they collected a lot of electronics out of your house, like routers and that kind of stuff. Like that's not gonna show that she was using her phone like at a time that you said she was strangling the kids or something, right? Okay. What is the password to like all the electronics in your house? I know there was an iPad.
iPad should be 2385.
2385. There's not one for the Apple Watches, is there?
Should be 2385.
Is that for yours too?
3387.
I'm sorry, what was yours?
2387.
2387. And what other stuff do you have? Is there a router, like is there a password for that stuff?
Shiny Chair 6. Came with the router.
And spell them.
SHINYCHAIR 6, number 6.
Like that. Shiny Chair 6?
Yes.
And then what else was in there? Is there a desktop computer?
Yeah, that one, if it has a password, it'd be 428 4915, capital S, lowercase w.
Okay. And what about, is there anything else in the house as far as electronics go, tablets?
Well, the iPad's the only real set. The other ones are the kids' stuff, but there's like, they're just like Amazon Fires or whatnot.
Okay. And you have an iPhone, what? Which one? Is that your personal one?
Yes, iPhone like, this is 7 plus or something.
What's the password to that one?
3387,
And what about your work phone?
same.
Is that this on here?
And obviously Shanann had a iPhone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what was her password?
So change to 013119.
What was that password?
The due date the next day.
Okay.
Nikki told me that one. Nicole told me that one.
Okay.
So it's me, Nikki's Nicole.
Yeah, we noticed that. I was getting us very confused. So no other electronics. What about the Echo? Does it have a password?
If it does, I don't never know if it did or not.
Okay.
You just say Alexa and it starts listening.
Oh, it's an Alexa. Is it that Echo still?
So, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The product's called an Echo.
Okay. Any other ones that you can think of? Okay.
Where do you guys bank?
Chasing USA.
Which one was the, when you went out to dinner with Nikki?
Chase.
That was Chase. And USAA, is that mortgage, is that bank, is that?
Chase is our mortgage lender.
Okay.
Do you have checking through them too, right?
Yes.
What do you guys use USAA for?
We use that to pay mortgage too, but
Okay.
it's just another, she had that before she met me.
Okay. And then the accounts that you had personally, beyond all of this? Okay.
Wait, he doesn't have his own bank account. What the fuck? How do you not have a bank account?
I was gonna ask you that. Sorry. Drew a blank. Oh, the security system. There's 5 minutes, right?
Visit, yeah.
Visit.
It's either gonna be 3387 or 2385. One of the two. And the passcode, like is Mustang for, if you ever have to talk to them, verbal passcode.
And then what email is associated with that?
ShanannWatts@gmail.com.
Do you know her Gmail password?
Repeat that 428-1915. It should, any of her, if most of her passwords are that.
Okay.
Amazon and everything.
And what is that? Is a phone number you say?
Yeah,
What phone number is that?
her ex-husband's mom.
Okay, that's weird.
You stick with the password.
She just remembers it? She's had it that long.
They were really good friends.
Okay.
So she just kept it.
Do you have any other questions for us?
Can you use the bathroom?
Yes.
Of course.
We do need to do one quick thing. Now that we know what we know, we're going to, I need to check that you don't have any weapons on you or anything like that. Do you have any weapons on you? Okay. We'll do that. We'll go to the bathroom. I'm not gonna go in the stall with you, but I'm gonna go with you. And then we'll come right back here and we'll make a decision about how the rest of the night goes. All right, so you might stand it up so I can check it. All right, let's go to the bathroom.
Yeah, so just in there?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, shall I leave this in here? Yeah, leave all of that in there, Chris. All of that stuff, all your property, that's our property now, Chris. You leave it right there for Mr. Evidence Bag, okay? Mr. Evidence Bag is going to come in and pack it up.
That way. There you go.
Take a rip. All right, we'll be right with you, okay? Great. We're gonna make a decision on your property, okay? I'm gonna take it with me for now, though. And then just for everyone's protection, I'm gonna leave that recording. Glasses.
Hey, Chris.
Hi.
We just have a question for you about the site.
We're going to make a decision on your property, but I'm going to take it with me for now. So I'm pretty sure that the decision is going to be it's ours. Yeah, a bunch of evidence cops are playing rock, paper, scissors right now to see who gets your wallet.
Are you 100% positive that Bella and Celeste are in these tanks? How did you get them in the tanks? 'Cause
The hatch and top,
the hatch, how do you access that?
walk upstairs,
And then what?
open it.
So they were saying like you could barely fit an arm through that.
It's
How
a
big is it?
It's, I mean, it's just like, I mean, you can use, that's how we gauge tanks.
So you think it's about like, just like a pot or a, what's that thing on the ground of the street?
Like a manhole?
Like a manhole cover, like is it that big?
No.
Okay. Was it hard to get them in there? Did you have to push or anything or?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really means yes. Means yes, but knows that it's a pretty horrifying image. Did you have to push and force them in there like a piece of oversized overhead luggage at the airport when they won't let you carry it on, but you're frustrated because it's got all your stuff you need, your charger, your laptop, your headphones, and you're showing them in the line for the check-in that it will fit in that little demo box that they have, like that? Your children?
We're sure, you're
Yeah,
sure?
yeah.
Okay, and like we're gonna have to drain these tanks, it's gonna be kind of
Okay.
a mess, so I just wanna make sure that you're being truthful about that. And is it because, is Shanann here because she couldn't, like, could you not lift her all the way up there, or you couldn't? Would she have been too big to fit in that hole? Did you know that already?
Not just from working the whole field, and then I do that.
Okay. And the girls aren't gonna be with her?
Very open area, very full of windstorms and everything else. There's nothing, there's no trees, nothing protecting that area from storms coming through, tornadoes, anything like that.
Okay. Okay. So when we drain these, they're both gonna be in each one. One's gonna be in each one. Okay. How do you drain it?
There's a backside valve. The 2-inch balon drains through the pit, right there.
Oh, they can just drain it off? Will they both fit, all the stuff that's in there, fit in
I'm
there?
not sure how much fluid is in those tanks.
Did they drop down? Did you hear them drop? Like, did it seem like they dropped a ways?
One seemed emptier than the other,
Which one do you think?
to the left one.
The one that Bella's in? I mean, did it sound like she would have hit the bottom kind of thing, or did you hear her hit liquid? There's no chance that you put them in there when they're still alive, is there?
No, God, no.
Okay.
Why? Because that would be monstrous. Oh, God, no. God, no. What do you think I am? A crazy killer dad? Oh, wait a minute.
I mean, they would be able to tell that because they would get fluid in their lungs and stuff like that. So I just want to make sure,
There's no chance.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, there's no chance that I threw them in the oil when they're still alive. I killed them first. But remember, it was only because Shanann did what she did. Crazy Shanann, unstable Shanann. So, 6 years, how about it?
Are there going to be, when they look at balance less, are there going to be any like resuscitation marks on them or anything?
Like from CPR or something.
Do you know CPR?
Yeah, Bob. Bob says he draws the line there at not throwing the girls in alive. Yeah, that's too far for Chris. Killing everybody in his family. We can handle that. But deep down, he's a man of morals.
I've taken an award once in class 2 years ago.
Okay.
It was on like a full-size adult dummy type thing.
Okay.
I wouldn't know how much to push on a track.
You know what he could have done? He could have just walked out of his house, just got in his work truck, got in that big F-250 or 150. I'm not sure which it is. It said to Shanann, listen, I'm leaving and I'm going, and you can keep the kids and you can keep the house, and I'm going. And left. But he knew that she would competently get child support from him and alimony and blah, 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 blah. Hammer him in the courts. He'd go through a fight. And he's not that kind of guy that can do process, right? He seems pretty good at working with machines, mechanics. They call him Rain Man on the work site because he knows about the cogs, and he knows how many cogs you need in the cog box, But he's not a paperwork kind of guy, as Attorney William Brown would say. So, I think it was True Crime Loser that said originally that there really should just be an out for people like this. Like for people that are going to murder their entire family because they don't want to pay child support, they should be able to tick a box on the divorce form that says, we'll murder everyone if I have to pay 1 cent. And then, everyone should chip in. The government, people's taxes should just go to a fund where Shanann and the girls will be supported and live. Right? If the alternative is he's going to kill them all, we should pay that as a community, And I know what you're saying. The trouble is, Metrix, that everyone would tick that box. Well, maybe we could work out some other, that they'll just, every employer that they ever go to sees that. They have to have it tattooed on their forehead. I don't pay anything to the family I left because I wanted to keep doinking the geologist at my oil company. Have him tattoo that on his forehead and say, Chris, don't worry about the alimony. Don't worry about the child support. The state will take care of your old family. Go and have your new family and enjoy your tattoo, Chris, as an incentive.
But they were already gone. And so
They were gone.
Okay. So no CPR? No. Okay.
And you knew Bella was gone. Did you go check on her afterwards? All of it happened?
Mhm.
And then what did she look like compared to Fifi?
Same, blue in the face, and just not moving.
Yeah, blue in the face, not moving, so dead. Dead. Ambulance wouldn't have been able to do anything, you know. Yeah, I definitely didn't load them into the work truck. No, no, no. Blue, not moving.
Hear anything as far as pulse or a beat, anything?
Okay.
He was hoping for some like compassionate grounds here, wasn't he? He was hoping that later at trial that the jury would be like, oh my God, this poor guy. His psychotic, unstable wife murdered his kids. And now he's facing charges for sorting her out. Give him 6 years. And we want to pay for his bachelor pad on release in Brighton with Nicole. And we are all going to donate any spare car parts so that he can make his own custom furniture.
Any other questions or things you want to tell us?
Graham's gonna tell me what's gonna happen next. Not quite.
What happens next, Chris? Okay, I'll tell you what happens next, buddy. There's this place called jail. And we go to the jail. We tell them who you are, what you've done, and they decide where they're going to put you. Then they're going to strip you naked, look up your ass, get you to hold your own balls while you crouch. And give you some nice itchy fabric to wear on your skin, give you a big pillow that's made out of a gym mat, and put you in a cell, isolated, and then just leave you in there for so long that you'll get so bored that you'll forget while you're there. And yeah. And then at some point you'll be speaking with an attorney that will have drawn the very, very short straw of representing you, because no one is going to want to do that.
Not sure yet. It might be a few more minutes before we know. So give us a few more minutes. I don't think so.
What's with the suspense? I mean, they're trying to give him as much time as possible before they say, well, obviously we're taking you to jail. Yeah, we're just waiting to find out what we're going to do with your property. But for now, I'm going to take it. Yeah, that's ours now. The phone, everything. Yeah. Yeah, they're giving him as much time as possible so he doesn't say, okay, I'm not going to talk anymore if you're taking me to jail. Lawyer me. Give me a lawyer.
Do you have water, do you want anything, Gatorade or anything?
No, thank you.
Are you hungry at all?
Just some pizza?
I feel bad eating any of your food, but
No, it's fine. What kind of pizza do you like?
it doesn't matter really.
Okay.
Just whatever. Thank you though.
I feel bad eating any of your food. I feel bad eating any of your food. Imagine that. I mean, what that really means is I do want some pizza. But I'm worried about how I will look if I say yes. If I say, oh, yeah, do you mind if I order my own? Because I would love a large pepperoni right now. you know, with a stuffed crust. In fact, can I talk to the order place myself, because I have a very I call it the Chris special, and I always get the same thing, and it's never like available on the menu. But if I can pick the toppings, you know, I can get it done. Yeah, so that's an extra large Italian base with jalapenos, salami, spicy salami, and black olives. And the herby cheese.
Sometimes I just stay here at night, I don't want to be in the hotel tonight, so I don't know which one it says.
It's a bottle of water, but I thought Ronnie just put a glass of wine on the table. Like he's coming in drunk. He's hitting at the bottle hard now. Son's going away for murder. All the other family members are dead. I mean, what is that like, huh? Son is in there, and he's done this, and you're sat out there. You've been out there for 8 hours now. After flying, it's like what? It's midnight for Ronnie. It's 8 o'clock in Colorado.
And I forgot about lawyer. Where's great? I'm the kid. I don't know if you'll comment on that. Somebody is telling about the lawyer situation stuff. All right, so they can do a court appointment, well, it's up to the judge first. What you charge me for whatever, all that type of stuff now. So how'd everything go? Did you talk to anybody, prosecutors, all that stuff? Just text.
Everybody's seen.
Well, wherever you at, I'll find you.
What are you going to get him a lawyer for? I mean, seriously, you think that there's a way out of this? What are you, nuts?
All right, so come see you. Okay. So they lets us, go out to the hotel somewhere. So
You took it?
Yeah. The second detectives I talked to said your story changed a couple times. I think it's what we're doing and all that stuff. And you say, you see the monitor was in the kitchen, or was it upstairs? It was upstairs, okay, I thought you said the kitchen, okay. I love you, dog, no matter what we're thinking of that. And then I love you, Jim loves you. I love you. We'll figure it out.
Albert, there was no trial, but there was a sentencing hearing, which we are going to go into shortly.
I thought it was, there's no way you're hurting children. Probably didn't call the police, you know.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Or-
I'll tell some.
I mean, supposedly Ronnie has been reporting back to main base back in North Carolina with Cindy and the family, you know, saying, well, they got him in a room asking questions. I don't know. Looks like Shanann killed the girls. And then Chris went into a rage, snapped her neck.
Is he staying here tonight, or
What's that?
is he staying here tonight? Or?
I don't know if he's gonna stay in his room, but
Well, I'm not that.
yeah, I don't, yeah.
Oh, look at that, eh? Yeah, just on a human level, we can debate whether or not Chris is a human all day long, but on a human level, that's got to be crazy, isn't it? I mean, I know some dads in the world are terrible, but it seems like Chris had a supportive home network. I mean, just imagine the things that your dad has been able to do for you in your defense, help, if you're lucky. And Chris has probably, had Ronnie do amazing things to help him sort out the impossible things. But he can't sort out this, can he? No, the best he can do is go and get a hotel in Denver and sit in it. And what's he gonna do in the evening? Maybe put a bit of TV on, watch a ball game.
We staying here tonight,
Yeah.
not county jail, nothing.
Have a browse on Yelp for some good lawyers, some good cheap lawyers.
Oh, no, he may go there. I don't
Oh, that one's got a 4-star rating.
know. I don't know how their procedures work here, so we're trying to figure that out now. So this is a much more comfortable room than what you'll probably end up in anyway, so I'd probably just chill here. Do you need anything else though, like more food? Do you want more food?
This is a much more comfortable room than the one you'll probably end up in forever.
Pizza?
I'm okay right now.
Are you sure? I'll get you more pizza.
Sure.
Okay. You are gonna say no to
I haven't
pizza?
eaten up to about 8-9 hours, so.
Okay.
I'll be in touch with you tomorrow. Wherever you at, I'll find you.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Here. Okay. So as the night goes forward, we're trying to recover.
From Soho down to Brighton. What's with the pinball wizard reference, Bob? There has to be a twist. Let me go through the lyrics. Oh, am I missing something? From Soho down to Brighton. What's the first line? Ever since I was a young boy, I played that silver ball from Soho down to Brighton. I must have played them all, but I ain't seen nothing like it in any amusement hall. That deaf, dumb, and blind kid sure plays a mean pin. Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Your loved ones. So tell me again a little about that hatch. You have some guys out there who think that hatch is just too small. You think it's about what size? Let's compare it to this plate.
That's about, twice the size of that.
Twice the size of this plate? Yeah. Okay. Now, it sounds crass, but did you have to kind of squeeze them in to get them down there?
I mean,
Okay.
I don't want to like to describe it, but I mean.
Yeah. Feet first or head first?
Feet.
Okay. And then, were their arms like this, or were their arms like this? Because you're holding their arms. Okay. All right. So I know we've asked you 1,000 times, you probably get sick of it, but we're very, very concerned about how to get those kids out. You can imagine we can't really cut a hole in that tank because the sparks will blow something.
Yeah.
So I just want to make very sure that you're 100% sure that you're in there.
Yes.
Okay. One in one, one in the other.
Yes.
Now, that doesn't make sense to me. Why would you?
I was figure out.
Okay. So you carry one up, put it in, you shut it.
It's just flashes.
Okay, oh, just a latch.
Yeah.
And then went back down, got the other one, went up to different tower. Is that how it works? Oh, it's the third time you get the bolt?
Yeah.
Okay. And the two different tanks?
Yes.
Okay.
So right beside each other.
Okay. All right. And you didn't have to, I know it's gross. You know,
No.
All right. The one thing I really want to make sure is that you're doing so good right now tonight. I would hate for, as we're trying.
That's the wrong one. Oh, man. Okay. Present, share screen, browse.
Stand up. For me. I'm going to have you face that wall.
Hey, Christina, how are you? Look at this. Oh, yeah, he's getting cuffed up. Well, we're about to close off on the video anyway, guys. We're going to skip ahead. We're just going to skip right ahead to the sentencing hearing, guys. Whereas this whole thing just totally got this arcane. I mean, what a room! The energy in this room was nuts. And again, when they finally wheel him in, well, they don't wheel him in, but they parade him in like a bad bear that's been caught. that's been terrorizing the town, and the toughest guy
that
as
happened.
in the town have gone out into the hills and got the bear.
Thank you.
Like a funeral director.
Record regarding compliance with the victim trust.
Yeah. Sweet.
Your Honor, present in the courtroom are Frank Rusick,
Okay.
Sandy Rusick, and Frank Rusick Jr. They are Shanann's mom, dad, and brother.
So, well, I can do.
They have been fully advised.
Turned off. The only electronic devices that I have authorized to be used are those through the expanded
Yeah,
media
Leah,
coverage.
150K a year is a lot of money, but there's just one problem. Shanann was spending about 195K a year on purple furniture. So, you know, that it didn't leave a lot of wiggle room when it came to the mortgage, you know, and it actually decreased the value of the property. So their mortgage was actually more than the house was worth. So yeah, bankrupt second time round. But you know what they weren't bankrupt in? Purple curtains.
Order. if deputies see that you are using an electronic device not authorized by the court, the deputies will take action on that. So please be mindful of that. If you need to turn off your electronic
Well,
device.
what if there's a guy in the back etching in a gramophone disc himself with a hand tool? You know, is that permitted? He said digital devices, guys.
Just please do so now. So these are the procedures that we are going to use for the sentencing hearing. Evidence. Once the evidence. Then, if there are any victims under the Victims' Rights Act, including Cindy and Ronnie Watts, that have not been called by the prosecution or the defense, or any other defined to make a statement to the court as it relates to this under the victim opportunity to argue. The defense will have an opportunity to make an argument. If Mr. Watts chooses to, he will have an opportunity to make a statement, and then the court will impose a sentence in this case. Does everybody understand? Okay. And so, Mr. Rourke, are you going to be speaking on behalf of the prosecution?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
And you are welcome to present evidence.
Thank you. Your Honor, if I may approach, I want to tender to the court what have been marked as sentencing exhibits 1 through 21, inclusive. I have provided copies of these to defense counsel.
Thank you.
Albert, they weren't into Amway, no, but
Your Honor, photograph.
Shanann was selling a product called Thrive, which was a multi-level marketing, you know, get your friends to sell the product and you get a cut of their product, and then they get their friends to sell the product and they get a cut of the product, like Tupperware, we call it in the UK. But yeah, it's a patch that you wear, the Thrive patch, and it's got you know, it disperses vitamins through your bloodstream. So that's what she was selling. Well out of it, but you know, that 80K, I haven't seen the bank statements, but you know, the car, for example, she was given a Lexus, but you know, there's all these clever tricks with those companies. Like, they say they're giving you a car, but the thing is, if you don't keep your sales targets up where they want them to be, they'll stop making the payments on the car and they'll come to you. So it's just everything that the company does makes it look like they care about their workers. It's just a clever little spin round thing to make sure that you're spending every hour of your life selling, which, you know, Shanann was, I think.
21 represent a number of different photographs that are in discovery that Shanann's mother and father wanted the court to have for your consideration as you impose sentence today. They may allude to those, and I've asked them to do so by way of sentencing exhibit number, but that's the sum and substance of exhibits 1 through 21.
Thank you. And you have individuals who would like to make a statement?
I do. Your Honor, if I could first call upon Frank Rusick to join me at the podium.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're not going to be poking any fun at victims today, guys. Frank Rusick is about to give his statement to the court, his victim impact statement, the statement about how this crime has impacted him. Who is he? Well, he's Shanann's dad. And, you know, he's also from North Carolina, and he's probably, well, he certainly is in shock. He's certainly completely emotionally charged to the point where he probably doesn't even know where he is or what's going on. All he really hears is his call to walk up to the podium, and he has written down what he wants to say under what is undoubtedly some very difficult pressure to deal with. I mean, how do you complete writing that speech? How do you say, yep, we've covered everything? You know, I have undying admiration for his efforts, and although his delivery is, well, you know, he's very upset. It's quite patchy in the delivery. Nothing but admiration for getting up there and speaking his mind. So let's give it a listen.
Good morning, Mr. Ruzick.
Good morning. What I'd like to say to the court is that Shannon, Bella, and Nico love and caring people.
You know, when we see people like Chris Watts on the frickin' news saying things like, last night, it was a ghost town. Yeah, I just wanted the kids to barrel rush me. And this house is not complete. Bella, Celeste, Shanann, if you're out there, if someone has them, just bring them back. This house is not complete. Bring them back. You know, and they're trying to create human emotion. This is human emotion. This is what it really looks like.
Shannon, Bella, and Nico. What I'd like to say to the court is that Shannon, Bella.
Things like that, right? When you see a fantastic actor, it's because they add these bits, right? What I'd like to say to the court, and then before he moves on, he does this kind of exhale or inhale, kind of shakes his head. When you see a fantastic actor, it's because they add these bits that you can't put in a script, right? Check it.
What I'd like to say to the court is
that it's just brilliant.
What I'd like to say to the court is that Shannon, Bella, and Nico love and caring people. They love life. They love being around people who love them. They always had good times. This is the first time they went to the beach this year, and they loved it. But God only knows what happened that night. Life will never be the same without Shannon, Bella, and Celeste and Nico. Had all their lives to live. They were taken by a heartless one. This is the heartless one, the evil monster, who dare you take the lives of my daughters Shannon, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. I trusted you to take care of them, not kill them. And they also trusted you. The heartless monster, and then you take them out like trash. You disgust me. They were loving and caring people. You may have taken their bodies from me, but you will never take the love they had from me. They loved us more than you will ever know, because you don't know what love is, because if you did, you would not have killed them. You monster, thought you would get away with this. I don't know how. The cameras do not lie. You carry them out like trash. of the house, seeing the videotape. You buried my daughter Shannon and Nico in a shallow grave. And then you put Bella and Celeste in huge containers of crude oil. You heartless monster. You have to live with this vision every day of your life. And I hope you see that every time you close your eyes at night. Oh, I forgot. You have no heart or feelings or love. Let me tell you something. I will think of them every day of my life. And I love them every day of my life. Prison is too good for you. This is hard to say, but may God have mercy on your soul. I hope you enjoy your new life. It's nothing like the one you had out here. May the courts have no mercy on you. It's hard every day. It hurts in so many ways. I have heard people say that you're not a monster. No, you are not. You're an evil monster. Thank you. Love you, Shannon, Bella, and Nico. Love you, Papa and Dad. And one other thing. And Shannon says she is super excited for justice today. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Well, not much we can say about that, huh? I mean, that is serious. That was like the rawest form of emotion that there could be, wasn't it? And Chris is just sat there. Hang on, let's see if we can. Oh. You know, who said that they believe, Matilda says, Shanann's parents, Matilda believes that Shanann's parents loved Chris like a son. Yeah, I think that they were super happy that he was such a nice guy to their daughter and blah, blah, blah. You know, really included him in the family and accepted him. And Chris is sat there as his former father-in-law is reading that out to a courtroom full of people. I mean, what must that be like, huh? I think probably everyone has experienced some much lighter form of shaming, you know. Knowing that people around you know that you did something bad, or, you know. I mean, he's just like a little squirrel, isn't he? Look at him, little squirrel man.
Sure.
Your Honor, Frankie Bruce Jr., he has asked me to read his statement for him, but he would like to stand with me if that's okay.
Of course. Sir, if I could just have you state your name for the record.
Frankie Rusek Jr.
Thank you for being here.
Your Honor, the past 3 months I barely slept because I've been going through a lot of different emotions because I did not see this coming. You went from being my brother, my sister's protector, one of the most loved people in my family, to someone I will spend the rest of my life trying to understand. What gave you the right to put your hands on a woman, let alone my best friend, my beloved sister, your daughters, and your son? Why weren't they enough?
Man, talk about collateral damage, huh? I mean, Shanann, Bella, Celeste, Nico, they're all gone. Dieter, the dog, will spend the rest of his life trying to understand this heartless monster, and so will Frankie Jr. Look at him. I mean, how old is he? Maybe 25? Young man, huh? Is he going to live with this always?
For you.
And for what, Chris? For the frickin' sand dunes and going camping by the river? Oh, Nicole was a free spirit. She brought out the best in me. She brought out the best in me.
In the blink of an eye, you took away my whole world, the people that mattered to me the most. Everything in my life I loved, your children. They trusted you. They loved you. They looked up to you because you promised to keep them safe. Instead, you turned on your family. My blood is boiling as I write these last words because they are the last you will ever hear from me. I can't even think of the right words to describe the betrayal and the hate I feel. And to be honest, you aren't even worth the time and effort it takes to put my pen to this paper. There isn't a day that goes by. All I do is ask myself why. Why would you do this? You don't deserve to be called a man. What kind of person slaughters the people that love them the most? Did you really think you would get away with this? Did you really think that this was your best option, to throw away your family like they were garbage? They deserve better, and you know it. I hope you spend the rest of your life staring at the ceiling every night, being haunted by what you've done. None of us deserved this. Hearing my mother and father cry themselves to sleep in this hotel room causes me anguish that is beyond words. I can't describe how this feels, how badly my heart is breaking for my poor parents. We trusted you. You have taken away my family from this earth, but you can never take them from my heart. You took away my privilege of being an uncle to the most precious little girls I've ever known. I will never hear the words Uncle Frankie again, but you will never be called Dad again either. You'll never be able to put your hands on another woman, let alone my best friend, my beloved sister, and your son. I just can't comprehend how they weren't enough for you. Shanann, Bella, and Cece loved you more than anyone. You were their hero. How could you destroy the people who loved them the most? I pray that you never have a moment's peace or a good night's rest in the cage you'll spend every day of your life in. A cage you are privileged to live in because my family isn't evil like you. We beg the district attorney to spare your right to take the life of another. Even so know the pain that they must time we cry for our family. Nothing hurts more than watching or hearing my family weep for their loved ones. I just wish that I could tell that you would tell the truth, but I know that that is asking for more than you are capable of. I stayed up all night writing this statement. I don't sleep because of you. My life will never be the same because of you, but at least my conscience is clear. I get to live free, but I can't say the same for you. I haven't slept in 2 days because I've been anxious.
Okay, we're ready for the big guns now. This speech deserves a place in our Metrix Hall of Fame. I think this is a mother. This is a strong mother. Okay, she's gonna put it like it is.
Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Thank you for this moment.
I could just have you just identify yourself.
Dignity. On point. Dignified. Check it out. Bold, measured, strong. Love this woman.
This moment. My name is Interrogation, his mother.
Just the way she comes up and touches the podium. It's as if she's like a, I don't know, like a politician or someone who does that all the time, you know? Total awareness of the structure of her surroundings. Try and do that if you're a civilian. It's not that easy. But she makes it look easy. She's here for one thing: to take care of business.
Your Honor, thank you. I wanted to say thank you for this moment. I want to take a moment to thank everyone who has prayed for our beloved family. What's gifts from all over the world. I know how the they need to be. I also want to take the time to thank the town of Frederick, Greeley, FBI, the DA's office, the CBI for exceptional work. We thank Nicole Atkinson, Shannon's neighbor Nathan and his family. To me, they're our heroes. They really are. God bless. God makes no mistakes on who he puts in your life. Marriage is about love, trust, and friendship and unity. We marry for sickness and health, to death do us part. Our daughter Shannon loved you with all of her heart. Your children loved you to the moon and back. Shannon's family was her world. Shannon put a crown on your head. But unfortunately, the day that you took their life, God removed that crown. We loved you like a son. We trusted you. Your faithful wife trusted you. Your children adored you. And they also trusted you. Your daughter Bella is on proudly. I don't know if you got to see it, but it was down my here. I have no idea who gave you the right to take their lives. But I know God and his mighty angels were there at that moment to bring them home to paradise. God gives us free will. So not only did you take the family of four, your family of four, you took your own life. I want the world to know that our daughter and her children were so loved by us. There will always be protected by God and his mighty angels. I didn't want death for you because that's not my right. Your life is between you and God now, and I pray that he has mercy for you. From Shannon's mother, Bella Marie, Celeste Catherine, and Nico Lee's, Nana. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that's all the witnesses that I had intended on calling. I know that the court addressed this during the procedural triangle. Like to address the court, I would certainly invite the court, if you want at this point, to call upon them, or we can certainly do it after any evidence that the defense has as well.
Sure. Does Cindy or Ronnie Watts wish to make a statement for the Victims' Rights Amendment? Good morning, Ms. Towers.
Good morning, Your Honor.
So this is a little unusual, I think, guys. The parents of the convicted killer are going to make a victim impact statement, of course, on the grounds that they're victims due to having lost their grandchildren. But it's certainly a different tone. Ronnie's going to have the representative read it his for him, and I can't remember offhand, but it's certainly an addressment to Chris, almost like an advice letter. When we get to Cindy, personally, I would deem her statement to be quite inappropriate in this setting in terms of content and her delivery, but we'll get there.
And if I can have you folks introduce yourself for the record.
I'm Cindy Watts.
Ronnie Watts.
Thank you. I have authorized you to make a statement to the court as paternal grandparents of the children. And if you choose not to make a statement, but your designee, Ms. Powers, chooses to, she can do so as well. How would you like to proceed
Can I
today?
read that? I wanted to start.
Who's going to be speaking today?
Your Honor, initially, they've asked me and they're hoping that they have the strength to speak, but if they do not, they've written out their statements and asked me to finish for them. So,
That would be fine. Who would like to go first?
Your Honor. On behalf of Watson and to the community, thank you for the opportunity and recognition under the Victim Bill of Rights. We come today, the grandparents, parent of daughter and children whose life was taken in this case. We are not here to ask for leniency. We are not in any
See, I don't
way
like that
condoning.
they call themselves the parent of Shanann. Cindy Watts, Chris Watts' mother, hated Shanann, refused to attend the wedding because she didn't like Shanann, would bicker and argue with Shanann at every occasion. Didn't like the way Shanann spoke about Chris. Oh, look at his hair. He looks like a skater boy. You know, kind of lovingly teasing. I'd call that, you know.
Or tolerating the crime that has occurred and the pain that has been caused. We join in our daughter-in-law and grandchildren's family.
You know, I get the grandparents bit. That's a biological fact. Leave it at that. There was no need to say the parent of Shanann. I mean, what is that? You know who's the parents of Shanann? They're over there. They just spoke.
And saying this should never have happened. This is not condonable. This is something that we will never get over. We appreciate the consideration that everyone has paid, most especially the families that have lost. We appreciate that they begged for Christopher's life. We agree and echo what they have said, that it is not his place to take anyone's life, nor would it be our place as a community to take his life. So we thank you for the opportunity and for every consideration and effort that's been put out. The prosecution in this case has in fact respected the Victim Bill of Rights. They took the time to explain that the information that my clients had at the time that they were interviewed was not correct. They were misinformed. They were searching for answers. They were not intending to cause any pain to anyone. And they appreciate that the prosecution answered their questions and gave them the time and the respect and the consideration so that they could tell this court and everyone in this community that the interview content was not their message, that they accept that their son has done this, that they accept that he chose to plead guilty, that he sought and requested their consent and agreement for a life sentence. They appreciate that he is given the opportunity to serve that life sentence. It is his responsibility, it is his sentence, and it is not enough to make up for what has done. And we join the family in the questions. We don't know how such a thing could possibly happen, or that a man that was responsible for raising his children and protecting his wife would take the step that he did, that he would disregard their bodies and the love that he had for them and they had for him and everyone else, and take justice and this community through the investigation and the discovery and the responsibility of bringing justice. We do not understand that. We do not think it was appropriate. We cannot begin to think that an explanation will ever justify it. My clients indicate that they understand that a full opportunity for a confession with all of the responsibility and accountability has not occurred. And they support the family and the request that that happen, if not today, at an appropriate time, in an appropriate manner, so that everyone can have peace, to understand to the best of their ability the details that they need and to have their questions answered. And by giving this opportunity of a life sentence, we hope that he embraces that moment, that had the death penalty been pursued, there would not have been an opportunity to be accountable and to give a full confession. Had the death penalty been sought, counsel would have fought for his life. The prosecutors would have been engaged in a multiple-year battle. The families would have been torn apart. This community would have had to subsidize it and endure it. And we have so much respect and gratefulness that that did not happen. We would strongly encourage Christopher Watts to give that full confession in the tone and in the timing that he thinks is appropriate with the guidance of his counsel. We feel that it would be appropriate and helpful to ease the pain and the suffering. But we also say, we don't think that there's anything that he can say that will ever account for his behavior. There's nothing that can be done to cure the harm he has caused. And he has the responsibility to serve his sentence with dignity and with regard for everyone, and to spend every breath that he has left in an atonement for what he has done. Do you want to read it?
Yes.
So if I could just have you state your name for the record.
Cindy Watts.
Thank you.
My name is Cindy Watts. I am the grandmother of two beautiful granddaughters, Bella Marie, Celeste Catherine Watts. I am also the mother of Christopher Watts, who I will be directing most of my statement to. First, I'd like to begin by recognizing the absolute horror of this crime and acknowledging the devastating loss that both the Rusek family as well as our family have faced. Our families have been irreparably broken by the needless deaths of Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico. This is something we will never get over. We will always mourn the loss of our family, and in that, we are united in our grief.
Hey, Nico from South Dakota. We've got a new state, guys. How we doing on our map? We're gonna take a break from crazy Cindy Watts over here. Man, she just really rubs me the wrong way. There's something not right about that lady. Check it out, guys. We gotta zoom right in. How do we zoom in? Come on. Yeah. So what have we got? We close off South Dakota. I'll have to update it later, guys. But if you're not in South Dakota and you're in Idaho, Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, Iowa, North Dakota, Kentucky, West Virginia, Delaware, Rhode Island, Vermont, or Hawaii, let us know in the comments, guys, because we got to add you to the map. We're about, what is that, 10 states to go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 states to go. We got 38 states, guys, of true crime Metrix domination. I'm going to hold you all hostage. Welcome, Nico. Thanks so much for letting us know you're from the great state of South Dakota. Okay, back to business.
I am still struggling to understand how and why this tragedy occurred. I may never be able to understand and accept it, but I pray for peace and healing for all of us. Now to my son, Christopher. I have known you since the day you were born into this world. I have watched you grow from a quiet and sweet, curious child who Bella reminded me so much of, to a young man who worked hard in sports and later mechanics to achieve your goals. You are a good friend, brother, father, and son. We have loved you from the beginning, and we still love you now. This might be hard for some to understand, how I can sit here under these circumstances and tell you, although we are heartbroken, although we can't imagine what could have led us to this day, but we love you. Maybe you can't believe it either.
As the Lord said in Jeremiah 3:31, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore, I have continued my faithfulness to you. And you, as your mother, Chris, I have always loved you, and I still do. I hate what has happened. Your father and sister and I are struggling to understand why. But we will remain faithful as your family, just as God remains faithful because of his unconditional love for us all. We love you. And we forgive you, son.
Thank you.
Judge, if
Thank God the representative, or what did they call them? What did they call it? What did she call herself? The whatever, the rep there. Just like when Cindy Watts, was she just about to launch herself over the table and give him a big kiss of forgiveness in court? You know, that was bad. Yeah. Tracy L, our resident Frank Zappa fan, says, "Gag me with a spoon, like any Valley girl should." Okay, Ronnie, go.
I could read Mr. Watts' statement.
Yes.
My name is Ronnie Watts, and I am the grandfather of Bella, Celeste, Nico Watts, and I am the father of Shannon. I am the father of Christopher Watts as well.
You're not the father of Shannon. What are you talking about? We just had her dad up here a minute ago, man. I am the father of Shannon. Like, who is going to be impressed by that? That's not going to be taken well by anyone.
And one of the most important things I've done in my life is to raise my children and to watch as they started their own families.
Yeah, Bob knows the score. Yeah, Moon Unit. Moon Unit wrote and starred in that song. Hey, that's it, guys. We're renaming the show Crime with Frank Zappa. Okay, we need some good pop references to Zappa lyrics from now on, guys. He's got $20 million in his heavenly bank account.
I spent many years coaching Little League and talking to my son, taking him to the races, and sharing my love and knowledge of cars with him. He was just as involved with his girls. I believe he loves his girls. I know he does. This tragedy has impacted my family in so many ways. Beyond losing my precious grandchildren, our beloved daughter-in-law, we are forced to question everything. We still don't have all the answers, and I hope one day, Christopher, you can help us. Chris, I want to talk to you as a father and son. You are here today accepting responsibility, but I want to tell you this now. I love you. Nothing will ever change that. And I want you to find peace. And today is your first step. The Bible says if we confess our sins, God is faithful and just and will forgive us. Chris, I forgive you, and your sister forgives you, and we will never abandon you, and we love you. Dad. Judge, thank you for the opportunity to address the court.
You know, I give Ronnie a pass on that. You know, what are you gonna do? You know, apart from the saying I'm the father of Shanann, I don't know why he would say that. You know, but the rest of it, telling his son that he loves him, saying he'll never abandon him. In my opinion, you know, you should say that as a dad. What are you going to say? Like, kill yourself in prison. We want to hear that you've killed yourself in prison, dick. You know,
there any other statutory victims under the Victims' Rights Act that would like to make a statement today?
Your Honor, I'm not aware of any.
For the record, nobody is raising their hand. Mr. Walsh, would you like to present any evidence?
We have no evidence, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Walker, is there any statements you would like to make on behalf of the prosecution?
Yes, please.
Oh, DA Rourke just comes across as very professional, very measured. He's got a head the size of a watermelon, but that's okay. He strikes me as the kind of guy that could eat a 92-ounce steak and the bone and still have room for like a whole large souffle.
Your Honor, there are no words to adequately describe the unimaginable tragedy that brings us before this court today. By my comments, I'm not even going to try to express the horror, the pain, or the suffering that the defendant has caused to these families, to this community, and to all who are a part of this investigation. However, I do want to spend a few minutes sharing with the court the details of the crime, as so far you've only had an opportunity to review the affidavit and a few facts here and there that have been offered to the court in the motions and pleadings that have been filed. The questions that have screamed out to anyone who will listen since August 13th of 2018 are why and how? Why did this have to happen? How could a seemingly normal husband and father annihilate his entire family? For what? These are the questions that only one individual in this courtroom or on this planet knows the answers to. I fully expect we will not receive the answers to these questions today, nor will we at any point in the future. I don't expect that he will ever tell the truth about what truly happened or why. Even if he did, there is no rational way that any human being could find those answers acceptable responses to such horrific questions. The best we can do is try to piece together some kind of understanding from the evidence that is available to us. And the evidence tells us this: the defendant coldly and deliberately ended 4 lives, not in a fit of rage, not by way of accident, but in a calculated and sickening manner. Shanann was 34 years old. She had married the defendant in November of 2012. Over the weekend leading up to August 13th, she had been at a work conference in Phoenix, Arizona, and returned home in the early morning hours of August 13th. We know that she got home about 1:45 in the morning. The doorbell camera on their home shows her arriving back home from the airport. Shortly thereafter, at least according to the defendant, they had what he referred to as an emotional conversation about the state of their marriage and about what their lives would look like going forward. What was said during that emotional conversation, only he knows. What we do know is that shortly after that, the defendant strangled her to death with his own hands. We know that he slowly took her life the morning of August 13th. We know that this was not done in an uncontrolled, vengeful manner that he tried to describe to agents from CBI and the FBI. If that were the case, you would expect to see vicious, horrible bruising about her neck, shoulders, and face. You would expect to see the hyoid bone in her neck broken. You would expect to see some kind of defensive wounds on his body as she struggled and fought for her own life. None of those are present. The only injuries that were on Shanann's body were one set of finger or bruising, what appeared to be fingernail or finger mark bruising to the right side of her neck. We know that our experts will tell us that it takes 2 to 4 minutes to strangle someone to death manually with their own hands. The horror that she felt as the man that she loved wrapped his hands around her throat and choked the life out of her must have been unimaginable.
Try and squeeze anything for 2 to 4 minutes. Try and squeeze a potato for 4 minutes. that is going to take it out of you, man. Time and squeezing don't go together. You know, quick squeezes. That's what we like. But yeah, long time squeeze. That's too much, man.
Even worse, what must Bella, age 4, and Celeste, age 3, must have experienced or thought is their father, the one man on this planet who was supposed to nurture and protect them, was snuffing out their lives. They both died from smothering. Let me say that again. The man seated to my right smothered his daughters. Why? Imagine the horror in Bella's mind as her father took her last breaths away. Your Honor, understand very clearly, Bella fought back for her life. The frenulum, the connective tissue between her upper lip and her gum, had a centimeter and a half laceration. She bit her tongue multiple times before she died. She fought back for her life as her father smothered her. Celeste had no such injuries. In fact, she had no external injuries at all. But according to the medical examiner, she was smothered nonetheless. The defendant then methodically and calmly loaded their bodies into his work truck, not in a hasty or disorganized way. He was seen from the neighbor's doorbell camera, backing his truck into the driveway, going back and forth into the house and back out to the truck 3 different times, 1 time for each of their bodies. He then drove them away from their family home 1 final time, intent on hiding any evidence of the crimes that he had just committed. In 1 final sign of callousness for his wife, his daughters, and their unborn son, and their remains, he drove them to a location that he thought no one would ever find them, to one of the oil tank batteries with which he was so familiar. He knew this was safe. He had texted a coworker the night before saying, "I'll head out to that site. I'll take care of it." He had carefully ensured that he would be alone in the middle of the plains to secrete away the remains of his family in a place that he hoped they would never be found. In 1 final measure of disrespect for the family he once had, he ensured that they would not be together, even in death, or so he thought. He disposed of them in different locations. He buried Shanann and Nico in a shallow grave away from the oil tanks. Bella and Celeste were thrown away in the oil tanks at this facility. Different tanks, so these little girls wouldn't be together in death. Imagine this, Your Honor. This defendant took those little girls and put them through a hatch at the top of an oil tank, 8 inches in diameter. Bella had scratches on her left buttocks from being shoved through this hole. A tuft of blonde hair was found on the edge of one of these hatches. The defendant told investigators that Bella's tank seemed emptier.
What about her hips? A 4-year-old has hip bones wider than 8 inches, don't they? I mean, I'm just doing it roughly with my hands. Well, I guess they could be less than 8 inches, but that's pretty damn small.
Than CC's because of the sound that the splashes made. These were his daughters. Significantly, when his coworkers arrived at the tank battery later that morning, to a person, they all described him as acting completely normally. It was a normal workday, even while his daughters sank in the oil and water not far away from him. And then his efforts at deception truly began. We've all seen the emotionless interviews that the defendant gives to the local media asking for help in locating his family. We watched as he claimed that the house was empty without them, and that he hoped that they were somewhere safe, and that he just wanted them to come home. He told investigators that they were at home sleeping when he left for work that morning, and that Shanann had told him that she was taking the girls to a friend's house for the day. What is striking about this case, Your Honor, beyond the horrors that I've already described to you, is the number of collateral victims that he created by his actions. While he stood in front of TV cameras asking for the safe return of his family, scores of law enforcement officers, neighbors, friends, and family scoured the area, fretted for their safe return. They texted him begging for any information and sending him their best wishes, all the while he hid what he had done. The list of indirect victims does not end there. Think of the firefighters and the Colorado State Patrol hazmat experts who had to don protective suits and who were called upon to pull Bella and Celeste out of those oil tanks. Or the coroner employees who had to conduct these autopsies. Or the victim assistants who frantically attempted to ease the suffering of those affected. All of this, Your Honor, for what? Why? Why did this have to happen? His motive was simple, Your Honor. He had a desire for a fresh start, to begin a relationship with a new love that overpowered all decency and feelings for his wife, his daughters, and unborn son. While Shanann texted the defendant over and over again in the days and weeks leading up to her death, attempting to save her marriage, the defendant secreted pictures of his girlfriend into his phone and texted her at all hours of the night. While Shanann sent the defendant self-help and relationship counseling books, one of which, ironically enough, was thrown in the garbage, he was searching the internet for secluded vacation spots to take his new love in researching jewelry. And while Shanann took the girls to visit,
he threw the self-help relationship book in the trash. Oh. Fix your marriage in 2 easy weeks. Not gonna need this anymore.
Family in North Carolina, the defendant went to car museums and the sand dunes with his new girlfriend. The stark contrast between the subjects of their internet and text content is absolutely stunning. Even the morning after he killed them and disposed of their bodies, he made several phone calls. One was to the school where the girls were supposed to start, telling the school that the girls would not be coming to school anymore, that they were being unenrolled, presumably to give him some more time before law enforcement notification about them going missing. He contacted a realtor to start discussing the selling of his house, and he texted with his girlfriend about their future. None of this answers the questions of why, however. If he was this happy and wanted a new start, get a divorce. You don't annihilate your family and throw them away like garbage. Why did Nico, Celeste, Bella, and Shanann have to lose their lives in order for him to get what he wanted? Your Honor, justice demands the maximum sentence under the agreement reached by the parties. As you will recall, the agreement calls for life sentences as to Shanann, Bella, and Celeste, and all of those to run consecutively to one another. It also calls for the count of unlawful termination of a pregnancy as to Nico to run consecutively to counts 1, 2, and 3. I would suggest that the extreme aggravation present in the defendant's conduct and in the efforts that I have described mandate that the sentences for counts 7, 8, and 9, the tampering with a deceased human body, each be the maximum of 12 years, and that those sentences run consecutively to one another. It is very clear that each of these acts, that these were not the subject of one act, but each oil tank that he walked up with his daughter's bodies and the hole that he dug for his wife and unborn son mandate a mandatory consecutive sentence. It's been alluded to this morning, but the defendant was certainly eligible for the death penalty in this case under the existing law in the state of Colorado. As you heard, Shanann's family strongly opposed my office seeking the death penalty and being bound to the criminal justice system for the next several decades. That's in large part, as you've heard, why we have reached the agreement that we have. 4 lives were lost at the hands of the defendant on August 13th for reasons that we will never fully understand, nor will we know. In the end, the Rusick family was much more merciful towards him than he was towards his wife, his daughters, and his unborn son. Prison for the remainder of his life is exactly where he belongs for murdering his entire family. Thank you.
Are you seeking 91 days to file a request for restitution?
I am, Your Honor, please.
I'll grant that request. Mr. Walls, will you be speaking on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, Ms. Earl.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Earl.
Good morning, Your Honor. Mr. Watts has asked us to share this morning that he is devastated by all of this. And although he understands that words
All of this. Yeah. All of this. Well, I guess that's a bit of an understatement, really, isn't it? I'm devastated by all of this stuff. All of this stuff. This legal, criminal stuff that I did.
are hollow at this point. He is sincerely sorry for all of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Watts, as I indicated when we began, you have the right to make a statement if you choose to. Would you like to make a statement?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Would you have made a statement? Would I have made a statement? Well, it's difficult to put yourself in those shoes, isn't it? It's probably too soon to tell a joke. To make a statement. What could he say? Would anyone else in the room, in the courtroom, have wanted him to make a statement? Oh no, C. Malone. He did have the pizza. He had 2 slices of a slice of 2 different pizzas. So quite the variety of toppings. I still think he should have ordered a Kobe steak. Says, look, you want to know? You want to know what I did? Kobe steak, 2 Kobe steaks now, and I want a Japanese chef to be wheeled in here with that enormous hot plate and cook the Kobe steak, doing all that juggling with the beef that they do. And then the detective goes out the room, and there's this Japanese chef with a big hat coming in on wheels. Like, yes, Chef Katsumoto is here to prepare your Kobe steak.
So the court has considered the arguments made by the attorneys. The court has considered the statements made by the victims in this case. The court's going to find that the plea agreement is fair and reasonable under the circumstances. I want to acknowledge the Rusick family, as well as the Watts family, that showing mercy on Mr. Watts is understood. And I respect that decision to request that the district attorney not seek the death penalty in this case. And so the court is going to accept this plea bargain under the circumstances. Words that come to mind when I hear the evidence in this case are...
Yeah, but the thing is that no one's been executed in Colorado since like 1989 or something. Don't quote me on that. I didn't check the facts, but I think it was a long time. The current governor at this time is pretty anti-death penalty, I think. Again, I can't really remember. I don't have time to go and get the actual facts, guys, but I was pretty well informed. You know, so basically, if he'd have got the death penalty, he'd have probably been, you know, he'd have his own room, he'd have better food, better comforts, because it's like, well, give him a bit. We are going to put him to death. So give him a pillow made of fabric, not that gym mat fire retardant thing that everyone else gets. You know, it's a little tiny bit better of a quality of life, I think, if you're on death row. And you know, he'd have been on there for 20 years before they even got to execute him. By which time it's fairly probable that the death penalty would have been outlawed in Colorado. Potentially. So all this stuff about clemency and you know, wanting him to, he's going into Gen Pop eventually as a brutal, notorious child murderer. You know, why don't you just say it like it is? Say, well, we hope someone takes care of him in an unhumane fashion. Yeah, we heard about this lethal injection strapped to the gurney thing where he gets to choose his last meal, obviously a Kobe steak cooked by Chef Katsumoto, who comes in on wheels with a giant hot plate ready to prepare the Kobe steak with his juggling skills. Yeah, we heard about all that and we thought, no way are we giving that to him. Pillow made of fabric. Give him the gym mat. And we want him to be shanked. Say it like it is.
A senseless crime and the viciousness of the crime. And equally aggravating in this court's determination is the despicable act of disposing.
Oh, thanks, Matilda. That's even earlier than I thought. 77. That's 40, almost 47 years ago. Almost, yeah.
Of the bodies in the manner in which they were done in this case. I've been a judicial officer now for starting my 17th year, and I could objectively say that this is...
Oh, I did think that sounded a little early, Matilda. 97. Okay, well, still, pretty long time ago. At this time, it was 21 years.
Perhaps the most inhumane and vicious crime that I have handled out of the thousands of cases that I have seen. And nothing.
No pillow. That's his penalty. No pillow. Yeah, no pillow and a really short mattress so he can't stretch his legs fully extended. Yeah, that'll get him. That'll show him forever. Short mattress, no pillow.
Nothing less than a maximum sentence would be appropriate, and anything less than the maximum sentence would depreciate the seriousness of this offense. So the court is going to sentence.
Yeah, no pillow, short mattress, and we want the bed frame to be like, you know, tilted lower on the side where he puts his head. So when he sleeps, all the blood runs to his head. Yeah.
Mr. Watts as follows. With regard to count number 1, murder in the first degree as it relates to Shanann Watts, the court is going to sentence you, sir, to a life sentence in the Colorado Department of Corrections, followed, with no possibility of parole.
All right, he's just going to read out like no parole, no parole, no parole. Do we really need to do that? I get why they have to do it, you know, the record and everything, but doesn't that get so repetitive in the courtroom when it's like, as to count one? God, you know, friggin' what's his name? Nicholas Cruz, the Parkland shooter, the Parkland murderer, the mass school killing in Parkland, Florida. Stoneman Douglas High or something. The guy had like 90 counts. So the court sat there for like, I don't know, a day and was like, as far as count one, we sentence you to life in prison with no parole. And as to count 89, we sentence you to life in prison without the possibility of parole. And all charges are to run consecutively. It's like, okay, well, we could have cleared that up in a minute. You know? But I get it, you know, you got to go through it. What's this, Rabbit? Oh, you're talking about Portugal. Okay, well, I don't know about that. Yeah, Rabbit says, hey, Metrix, you live in a country that pioneered abolishment of the death penalty in 1846. Is that right? Yeah, well, they were still hanging people in England in, I don't know. I think it was up until about the 60s. Or maybe a bit earlier. I don't know. Yeah, there's low penalties in Portugal. Anyway, we got to close it up for the night, guys. I'm on about 3% power, and all of our batteries are down again. You know, and terribly ragged stream tonight, folks. It's been a rough couple of days, and you know, just had to get on and do a stream, but you know, we got a split focus thing going on. So we'll be back fully charged real soon. Might have a few things to deal with this week. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Ida Hat, you just hear as we're closing out. But good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, Portugal has the big wave in Nazaré. For all you surfers out there. Okay, guys, thanks to everyone in the stream. Remember to like, share, leave a comment, and we'll see you real soon. But we won't be seeing Chris Watts. Are we done with Chris Watts now? Oh, no, we've still got all of Nicole Kessinger to go through. Oh, that's going to be fun. I'm going to have to, like, not listen to my own stream that I'm commenting on. Man, she's got a terrible voice, you know. And what else have we got? Well, we've got Chris's later interview when all of the old team go back up to Wisconsin. Well, not back up. They visit him in Wisconsin. Is there anything else about Chris Watts that we should cover? We'll do Nicole Kessinger's interviews. We'll do the Chris Watts, second interview. Just trying to think. Someone did send me an interesting timeline to our email address, guys. That's truecrimemetrics@gmail.com. If anyone wants to get in touch, reach out. Maybe we'll go through that just for some fun, huh? It's pretty good piece of literature. Can't remember who sent that to me. I think they were called FL, Freedom Lover. Yeah, Freedom Lover. If you're listening, Freedom Lover, thank you so much for sending your literature. Really appreciate it. And also to Mrs. D. I do have your Russell Williams document printed out in color as requested. Yeah, I was reading the first 3 pages over a coffee yesterday morning, and then I had to go and do something else. But you know, we're going to read through that as well. I thought I might read it out on a stream, but I'll check if that's all right with you. I have your email address, so I'll be in touch. But yeah, maybe we could share it with the group. Because but I think we would do that after we do the Russell Williams interrogation, or maybe just before. You know, maybe we should cover that next, guys. Okay, great to see everyone, even the latecomers. Neety, Black Eagle, how you doing? With all your lobsters, Chrissy Twats. All right, signing off, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.